And hello, welcome. In this video, we're taking the X100VI out for some street photography at night. So, for the few of you out there that have already watched one of my videos, it's been a while because I am the ultimate procrastinator and there's been a few things going on, let's put it that way. I don't do much true street photography, but I thought I'd give it a go at night, seeing as the X100VI is the type of camera which should be perfect for this kind of photography, it being small, compact, and not intrusive. So the other day, I went out with my mate Mikey on the streets of Bristol, UK, on a cold winter's evening where it got dark very quickly. Hopefully I got a few shots that you guys out there may like. I did take this little camera with me, which is the Insta360 Go 3S. You just take this off, and I had it on my chest right here. So let's get to it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a Kodak T-Max 400.
A bit more.
Yeah.
Let's go that way. No, I want. It's better that way, really.
Is it?
Yeah, because.
Let's take a look at the accessories I have. I've got a beautiful looking Illuminati shutter button. I think that looks cool. Small rig thumb grip, which really does help on this kind of camera because there not being much to grip onto. I also have this lens hood from Square Hood, and it's the 10% haze glass that has been fitted into the hood, as you can see at the end of the hood. Kind of shit that you need, like this.
quite good.
It's not really. It's not
brilliant.
really that good.
Alright, it's
I don't know. It's
black and white would have been.
This
great
is the
for that.
problem with street photography. Yeah, it's like really hit and miss. Like sometimes it just looks bland as fuck. Like it's not interesting enough.
That's the challenge of it, because not every single photo will be the best out of it.
It's very difficult sticking to one focal length as well.
Yeah.
Like obviously that's supposed to make you better as a photographer, but there's loads of shots that you physically can't do that I could have done if I had a zoom or a tighter focal length. Oh mate. Oh yes.
You get it.
Yeah. Straight through the doorway. But there's no separation. I can see it in my head
Yeah.
with a tighter focal length, with more compression,
Yeah.
with more
would've been
kind of
a shot.
bokeh.
Alright with that.
If you get someone that comes past here, you've got light on the far side of their face, it's warm light on the far
actually,
side,
yeah.
and you're shooting from the shadow side.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Battery's already done. I need a fucking coffee mate to warm me up.
So nice photo op. I really want to go.
Fucking get shit shots. You sure you don't want the Leica? They look nice, mate, but I would get the 43 because of the focal length.
You time code on that?
Yeah, but the price of a 43, I might as well get a GFX 100S2. It's going to be so much better quality than the Leica.
Yeah,
It's
right.
not about that, it's about the essentials, which is that. It's not a logical choice, it's an emotional choice.
This is what happened. This is what happened to me.
I was worried that this haze filter was going to be a little bit too strong, even though it's only 10%. Basically due to the fact that, you know, the glass is actually quite a distance away from the lens. It's like a Cinebloom, you know, like a Black Pro Mist. It's one of those looks where it looks nice in subtle form, but you can easily overdo it, or it can look too strong. Yeah, it's one of those things you got to be a bit careful with, especially when you're out at night. You're in a dark environment, but highlights are going to be very bloomy. They're going to be very bright in comparison to the rest of the shot. So yes, you can fix these things in post and pull the highlights down, but you've got to try and make sure that, in my opinion, you don't overdo it. Now, it depends on the shot. I think you can get away with it better in black and white, and in certain situations it will look like stylistic, it will look arty, and then other times it just looks like it'll just look too much. But what I do like about this, it is the slimmest hood that you can, I think, that you can get, because a lot of the other hoods, like from Hayog, or however you say that, they actually come out a little bit further because they have an extra band that you have to twist on. The only issue with this filter being fitted into the hood, it means that I can't use the hood without the filter. So if I don't want the haze, I have to take the hood off completely and just not have a hood. So you've really got to be dedicated to the look of this haze, because you're stuck with it basically, and it costs a lot of money from Squarehead. they put this chocolate on top of my drink. It's now melted onto the fucking cup. Look at this guy.
So what do you think of your X100VI?
Colour science is great. Being able to put a recipe on there and then like adjust the recipe to your taste.
Right there and then, yeah.
But when it misses, it fucking misses. Because you want to get that shot split second.
Yeah.
Like, you've got one chance to get that shot that you can see coming up.
I suppose.
And then it doesn't bloody focus properly, and you're like, great, I've missed it. So if we just take a moment to go through a brief history of my experience with Fujifilm. I've been with Fujifilm for quite a number of years now. Before that, I had Sony's, Panasonic's, and Canon. I've never had a Nikon though, strangely enough. But yeah, Fujifilm, I've owned the XH1, the X Pro 2, the GFX50R, the XH2S, the XS10, and I'm filming now on the XT5 with the 16mm 1.4. You could probably assume that I am a Fujifilm fanboy. You would technically be correct with that assumption. However, my patience is wearing extremely thin with Fujifilm due to their obviously already not very good autofocus getting even worse every firmware update that they are doing. So, history on this. This is actually the third X100VI that I have owned. I pre-ordered the camera originally at Wex and Jessop's. I was too late. I think I was too late by about a few days, and it meant that I wasn't going to receive the camera for half a year or something like that at least. So I just cancelled those pre-orders and I just left it. I thought, no, I don't need this. You know, I fell for the hype basically, like most people have, and it made me go, oh, I'm gonna get one. But I then put my sensible hat on and thought, I don't need this camera, so I left it. And then randomly I was looking on the John Lewis website and found at one random night, only a month or so into the release of the camera, that they had some random stock come in, because you can't pre-order from places like John Lewis or Argos. I decided to just pull the trigger and go, you know what, I'm just going to buy it. Right off the cuff, just buy it. And so I bought it, literally next day it came. I felt bad for the people that have been sitting there waiting, going, oh, there's no stock, I've got no camera, I'm waiting for my camera. And I was thinking, it's right here. Like, literally, I've just ordered it to come the next day. I think what happens when there's so much hype with a camera and or with anything, there's a lot of expectation that when you do finally get the camera, you are a little bit let down, you know. So straight away, the first thing I noticed was when I put my eye to the viewfinder, it was noticeably worse, like smaller and not as good quality as my XH2S or even the XT5. And so like straight away you kind of go, oh, you know, that's not as good. And also because this is a leaf shutter, it doesn't give you a nice sound when you take a photo. It just makes a really awful sound. Not even that, it's very, very quiet. And I didn't like that. Now I can see that it's quite good in circumstances like street photography where you want to be inconspicuous, so you don't want people to hear like that all the time. But I really loved like the shutter sound of the GFX50R. It literally sounds like an automatic winding film camera after you take the shutter. It goes like that. And I realised that at the time I just didn't have the time to use it, so I didn't form a relationship with the camera. The reason why, for example, I love my X Pro 2 was because I just happened to take some of my favourite photos with that camera. And so suddenly there's like an attachment to the camera. And so because I hadn't had that with the X100VI, because I hadn't had time to even take photos or do much, it was not inspiring me. So it's weird because you have to then take the photos in the first place to get you inspired to take more photos with the certain camera that you have. It ended up me selling the camera for like £300 more than the brand new asking price, which is ridiculous. I'm sure there's people out there that regret paying so much money over the RRP. It's very silly. But yeah, and then a couple of months later, I changed my mind and thought, no, I need to give this a chance. I happened to find it again at John Lewis, come in stock randomly. Don't attack me. It makes me look like a scalper. But I fully intended to use these cameras. I then went through a moment where I was like, oh, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm selling all my Fuji cameras, blah, blah, blah. And so I sold that one. I didn't even get a chance to use it at all. I shouldn't really be spending this money. And then finally we've come to now, several months later, again, random stock, which is starting to come back into stock quite regularly now. Anyway, we're in December 2024. And so now I've got it again. Third time lucky. Let's call it third time lucky. I'm starting to really love this camera. I don't know why. I think I'm ready for it now. And now I'm invested. What always put me off the X100 series was that I didn't like being limited to the fixed lens aspect. I always wanted an interchangeable lens system where I can put whatever lens I want on it, whether that's vintage lenses, lots of different focal lengths, blah blah blah, ones that work well for photo and others that work better for video. And also just because of the price and everything, and this is always going to be an extra camera and not your only camera if you're a photographer or a videographer. It's going to be the compact small one that you take with you when you're not doing anything very serious. Not that you can't do anything serious with this camera, because you absolutely can. Again, a lot of people will say, well, that makes you a better photographer because you're stuck with the focal length that you have on this camera, which is the equivalent of a 35mm in full frame. What I do like about using this camera, especially for street photography, is the flip up screen. Right, so I am glad that Fuji has not changed this design and put a flippy screen like a lot of their other cameras and other compact cameras like the Sony A7 C2 and the CR. They're really nice small full frame cameras. However, they still have implemented a flippy screen. Now, I like flippy screens for video. However, when you're being a photographer, I'm sure many will agree that you'd rather have a tilt up screen due to the fact that it keeps it as compact as possible. With a flippy screen, it kind of defeats the point of having a small camera, because instead of just one movement, you've got to then go 1, 2, and then you've literally nearly doubled the width of the camera, so it's not small anymore. Now you're looking silly on the street going like this. Basically, all of the shots I took were from the chest, stood like this, with the screen up, with my thumb on the shutter. I thought that was the best way of being inconspicuous. Is inconspicuous the right word? Yes, I think it is. I'm overthinking. It's a little bit too intrusive if you're doing this. You're not going to get anything natural. In fact, you actually probably look more of a creep it being down here, because you're pretending that you're not taking a photo. But I'm just looking down here at these lovely retro dials. I'm not taking a photo of you, am I? I really like the filter that you put. It's actually really cool.
You're fucking amazing at street photography, man.
I'm not really, man. I'm taking a picture of some fucking paper on the floor.
No, because it's a story.
What slows this camera down is the lens. I'm disappointed that Fuji didn't update the lens. It's still slow and will still be like like that every time. Even if you focus on a high contrast subject in the daylight, you'll still get behind, in front, and then locked on. And that time that it takes is just too slow with street photography when you're quickly trying to take a photo of someone and they're moving a lot. So I actually found that it was actually quite good in continuous autofocus. I was getting better hit rates that way rather than relying on the single autofocus to take the shot straight away. Because it's not a Sony, it cannot, in that kind of situation, quickly acquire the focus and take that shot. It's always going to be too slow, and that person has then moved either further back or further forward, and that shot is out of focus. As long as you've anticipated a little bit, that continuous autofocus is going to work better in this situation.
Christmas.
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Santa Claus is smoking.
That's a good shot. The autofocus ain't bad at all. Oh, I say that and it's just fucking lost your face. I think we're done. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you liked some of the shots that I got out of the camera. If you did, then like and subscribe, and if you didn't like it, press the like button twice. Hold on, that doesn't make any sense. Yep, see you in another video where we'll take some more pointless fucking pictures. Goodbye.